Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to open the Select Board meeting for August 5th, 2024.
I'd like to remind everyone that MCM is taping this meeting, and I'd like to ask everybody to join us to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to make you aware that tonight we will be having an executive session that begins at 6:10. We're now at 6:11. And the chair's comments will be following executive session and also the TA report. So this is our executive session motion. The board moves to go into executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to discuss strategy relating to collective bargaining and litigation, specifically to consider a grievance filed by the Marshfield Firefighters Local 2568, and to discuss strategy regarding pending prohibited practice charges with Local 2568, and to investigate charges of criminal misconduct, or to consider the filing of criminal complaints pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A5, update from Town Council, returning to open session upon conclusion of the executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to go into executive session and to return to public session at the conclusion of the executive session.
All right, thank you. All righty, let's bring this meeting back to order. We're coming out of executive session, and I'd like to go into regular session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to return to public session and continue the Select Board meeting for August 5th.
All righty. So, we've already done our Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to just defer on our chair's comments this evening, where we're running especially a little bit late this evening. I will catch up with all of you at the next meeting. But I'd like the TA to give us his report, please.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just very quickly, I had a meeting with Acting Fire Chief Mike LaSalva regarding an update on the operation of the fire department, renovations at the headquarters for the new men and women's bathroom and locker rooms. Had a meeting with Greg Guimont, Ned Banks, Fred Russell, regarding red gold bond issues and options to deal with the necessary renovations and ongoing maintenance that those buildings are going to require. Chaired a monthly department head meeting where I discussed procurement policies with our department heads, state bid list issues, contracts for services, on-call contracts, grants, and the need for 3 quotes for $10,000 and under. I also discussed the FY24 budget closeout and the budget process for FY26. Hosted a meeting with Tom Miller and his staff, with our treasurer and town accountant regarding the school budget closeout for FY24 and loading of the FY25 budget. Participated in the CRS PPI meeting to discuss the required updates, potential mailings, and information for residents and real estate brokers. Hosted the Marshfield Fire Department negotiations with Union and Labor Council. Hosted a retirement party for Sue Flynn, who retired as the assistant town accountant after 28 years. Had a meeting with Fred Russell, our facility director, to review and get an update on town projects. The project at the fire headquarters for the bathrooms and locker rooms, the library bathroom project, the handicap ramp at the South River School, ongoing maintenance and general repairs at the North River Art Society building, and continued renovations at Town Hall. Also had a meeting with Jack McDonald to review his presentation on the sign project, so in preparation for him going before the DPW and Board of Public Works. Conference call with Pat Sullivan, our new superintendent, regarding some budget issues, summer pay, FY25 budget, and what the FY26 budget process will look like going forward with our new treasurer and town accountant. We also discussed the playground issues and getting them repaired at the schools and opened prior to school opening. Hosted a meeting with Brian Jankanis and Nick Glinchmer of Blue Jeans to discuss a pilot project that they're involved in. Pharmacogenomics is the science of how a person's genetic makeup affects their response to a drug. This new technology could go a long way to save money and make sure that prescribed drugs do what they're intended to do. I'm actually going to introduce them to Mayflower Municipal Health. I had a meeting with Tom Hickey, the superintendent of the South Shore Regional Vocational Technical School, to discuss the final design, potential cost of that design, reimbursement, potential reimbursement from the MSBA, what the enrollment numbers look like, and how that will factor into Marshfield's initial cost. Tom is proposing an amendment to the regional agreement that will change our debt share calculation to a 4-year rolling adjustable average versus a fixed amount at the time of the project approval. More information is to come later in the year prior to the fall special town meeting. We also discussed the district ballot question to approve the project that will appear on the ballot at a special election that will take place in January of 2025 throughout the 9 communities. Participated in the Marshfield Fair meeting hosted by Lieutenant Artie Shaw at the ELC with police, fire, Plymouth County Sheriff's Team, the Fair Association, to continue to review security, parking, and traffic. Had a meeting with the Emery Senate, our head assessor, and Elaine Fiore, our office manager, to review the HEROES Act for our veterans that will increase their current exemption if adopted by town meeting, along with some other potential changes in 22H and 17D. Participated in a conference call with Sean Patterson, our DPW superintendent, regarding the town playgrounds around town and at the schools. DPW has prioritized the repairs to the playgrounds with the school playgrounds first so that we can get them open in time for school. At this time, the DPW has completed their repairs at the South River School and the Governor Winslow School, so those 2 playgrounds are back open. The DPW is waiting for the next delivery of needed mulch for the Martinson and Amesway School playgrounds and some additional minor repairs, and then we can get those playgrounds reopened. I'd like to give special thanks to Sean Patterson for stepping up and making sure that we get the playgrounds reopened as quickly as possible. And that is my report, Madam.
Thank you. This evening, we are running late on our appointments. We have a 6:35 Chief Phil Tavares, Marshfield Field Security and Traffic, et cetera, and we also had a 6:45 Town Clerk Nerys Castor election warrant and early voting for presidential elections. We're going to stick to our schedule this evening. We have a very long agenda. We have 24 action items this evening. So I'd like to get started right away with welcoming Chief Phil Tavares. Hello.
Hello.
And Lieutenant Artie Shaw.
Thank you for having us come in today. There's a lot of planning that goes along many, many months for the Marshfield Fair that can draw upward of 20,000 people per day for 10 days. In addition to that, it's summertime, and we're real busy. So at this point, Lieutenant Shaw is our Emergency Management Director, and he is in charge of all emergency-type operations. So he's been intimately involved in the planning for the fair for many, many, many months. So at this time, I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Board, for having us here tonight. I'd like to start just by stating it's 156 years. I haven't come up with a magic pill to eliminate traffic. If I had, I wouldn't be here. The Chief would be delivering that news. But there's going to be traffic. So starting with that, what I'm going to do is read off a list of items we've done to alleviate it as much as possible. And starting off with, we're going to have more lighting and cameras down back by the campgrounds and where they park for motocross and the demo derby. That's going to allow us to notice spaces, more spaces for people, and get people off the road. We're going to have the fair has offered to stripe and line parking spaces, so they're going to take care of that down by the solar panels. That's going to afford us many more spaces. It's going to make it much easier to park cars as opposed to the people down there just throwing the cars in there. They're going to have lines so that people know where to park. We're going to have more signs directing traffic to turn specifically left at Roach Brothers rather than come down to Walgreens. They come down to the Walgreens light. We've asked the state to eliminate that left-hand turn. They won't do it. And if you get stuck behind that, even on a regular day, never mind the fair, if you get stuck behind someone trying to turn left there, you're going to be waiting a while. So we're going to have signs there up by the high school across from Roach Brothers directing people. It's going to be a lot more easier for them if they turn left there and then come down 3A. We're going to have more cameras, including a drone on site from 4 p.m. to close each night. The drone's going to allow us to immediately notice any areas for traffic and to put police officers there as soon as possible and to alleviate it as soon as possible. All officers assigned to parking will wear reflective gear, clothing, and have flashlights available at all times. So even if they're inside the fair and we have a traffic issue, they're going to be able to jump out and assist with traffic as soon as possible. We're going to utilize cones on South River Street between Willow and Main on Main 3A. So that we'll have an officer at Gate E, which is right across from the command post and the fire station. That's usually, South River is one of the biggest holdups we have, and it's usually between 4 and 7 p.m. And getting people into Gate E as quickly as possible is going to alleviate a lot of the traffic there. The fair is looking into parking employees off-site to allow more parking for patrons at the fair. So we're meeting tomorrow. We're going to go over some ideas for that as well. The command post is going to be there and open from 4 to close each night. And at the command post, we have a camera that goes up and that can see everywhere from 3A. It can't see down back. That's where the drone's going to come in. But the command post will allow us to see 3A in South River and down by Willow Street in South River, which are main problems every year there. I say this every year. At the end of the day, when we meet for the after action for the fair, if we have our biggest problem is traffic, we've had a successful fair. And there's going to be traffic complaints. There's no way around it. We're doing everything we can to alleviate it and minimize it as much as possible. We come up with new ideas every year. We're open to suggestions, but I think we have a good plan in place. And one more thing I did want to mention, rainouts last year. There were 2 rainouts. The day after a rainout causes excessive traffic at the fair because people want to get there. So for obvious reasons, between 4 and 7 p.m. if you want to avoid traffic, and the day after a rainout. Those are my best suggestions for people coming. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Artie. I know you guys have this covered. It's not your first rodeo.
No.
I appreciate you coming in. Anything you'd like to say?
Artie, I look forward to your updates on the police department Facebook page during the week of the fair. They're always very funny and clever and good. And, every year when we have Levitate and the fair, you guys do a great job mitigating the traffic as much as you can. So it's a tall order, but, like you guys said, you've done it so many times, and it's like muscle memory at this point, and you always do a great job. So I wish the state would have allowed you guys to close down that lane and turn left. I go by there every day on my way home from work. Sometimes I roll the dice and take the left lane, and someone waits until the light turns green to turn their left blinker on, and you get screwed. But but I know that'd be great to shut that down because it's always a huge problem. So I wish the state listened, but you guys have this down pat. So thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank the DPW. Jimmy Jackson in particular is an enormous asset to us during this, all through everything.
Eric?
Thank you both for coming and sharing that. Can you give me a copy of that list?
Of this?
It should have been, my look at it should have been added into a folder here, but I don't see anything on it, so I'd like to get a copy.
For this list? Sure.
All right. And then also with that list, can you send me the communication from the state in regards to they won't let you eliminate the left-hand turn on 139?
Yes, I'll email them again
I
and get a
appreciate
copy of that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much for having
Your
us.
work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's another year. Okay. Hello, your turn. That's all right.
Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Just name and address for the record.
Nerese Casper, 23 Saginaw Avenue. I'm the town clerk, and I'm here to get permission to have early voting take place at Town Hall Saturday, October 19th through Friday, November 1st. You all have already approved early voting for the state primary, which is coming up this September 3rd. It will start on Saturday, August 24th, and will end on Friday, August 30th. So it's only a week. That's all that the state will allow. It will allow us to do it for 2 weeks for a regular election. So I'm maxing it out. I've given you a layout of when we're going to do it. I've given you a list of the weekend hours that we're allowed to have. We can have them on Sundays, but we've never really gotten a good turnout on Sundays. I've given you a list of the days that the elections will take place and that they will be at the high school from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., and that all early ballots must be returned to Town Hall. I will have staff in my office the entire time. And the only change this year to anything is that emergency absentee ballots are now available for a full week. So if a loved one gets hospitalized, you can actually pick up an absentee ballot from us and hand deliver their ballot to the hospital and bring it back to us on election day, and we will process their ballot. It used to be 48 hours, so that's excellent, I think. One more way for people to vote. That's all.
Okay. And this is posted downstairs outside the clerk's office on the bulletin board.
Yes, it's
and
just
Yep,
in and out.
yep. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I think early voting's great. I think it gets turnout up, which is always a good thing. The more folks who participate and vote is definitely a good thing for our democracy. And I hope it makes your life easier too, to get those votes in earlier instead of being swamped and overrun on election day. So hopefully kind of having that get folks in a little bit earlier makes your life a little bit better on election day, because I know it can be a little bit hectic. And it's convenient for the voters and residents too. I love going into early vote. You get accosted way less on your way to vote like you do on election day. I think Marshfield is one of the more generous towns in terms of how close you can get to voters on election day. And I know that because people at statewide office love coming to Marshfield because you get way closer to the voters than you would in Hanover and Situate and things of that nature. So I love early voting for that reason here in our town. So I think it's great, and thank you for administering it.
Thank you. Eric?
Thanks, Maurice, for coming. What I see here is the warrant for 24 state primaries. So this is, from the looks of it, if I'm correct, this is just pertaining to election day. Am I seeing that right?
No, this is actually pertaining to the 2 weeks before the election, the first page.
No, there's nothing in tab 2. I mean, I was going to get to that. Oh, you just got it? All right, let me ask this question before, excuse me, Nuri.
No, that's okay.
This is not the first time this has happened to me. Why, in regards to trying to review the documents prior to the meeting, especially over the weekend, how come we're getting this stuff so
I just
late?
gave them to you today. That's me.
You're not the first person. The whole thing is that I think this needs to change for the sake of the board in regards to getting late documents and be able to review them in a timely manner, Mike, and Madam Chair, and Phil. I mean, if they're not going to be there by the time the warrant comes out, we should not even entertain it for the Monday meeting, in my opinion. So I just want to make that statement made. So I didn't realize that this is in here, Nerissa. It was missing, and we had the event earlier and all that, so I didn't get a chance to review it on this one. All right, so looks like there's 2 things in here. So you're looking for a vote on let me see if I can get this straight.
Here you go.
All right, the 2020 warrant for 2024 state primary. So on that one, that is just setting up the actual voting day. Am I correct about that?
Yep, it just allows us to have an election.
For the primary day
Right.
in September, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have the early voting. As the next one. Mm-hmm. Am I correct?
Right. I can only set these up when the state sends them to me. I can't set them up prior to the state sending them to me.
Yeah, so I guess my question, especially between the early voting and the day of the election, when you send this to us, isn't it already established by the state or state law in regards to
The
this?
state has to set up the ballot,
Set up the ballot?
yes.
So why how come you have to bring this to us to
Because you have to approve the ballot.
approve the ballot?
Yes, if you look at the warrant tells you who you're actually voting for. For
The
which,
ballot-
for which race in each particular case you're voting for, and which precincts are voting for which race, and which district. Are you looking at the warrant?
Yeah, I know, I just had it at my fingertips in it.
It's
let it
okay.
roll by. All right.
Wait
so
till we get
I
to
seen
it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's, all right, so,
So they send us that, and then we give it to you. I can actually give it to you 1 week prior, but I try to give it to you a month in advance so that everybody in town knows what we're doing. I can wait until the week before the election
Right.
to give it to you, but I prefer to send it to you a month in advance.
ahead of time. No,
Yeah.
and I imagine we appreciate that, and everything, so,
Same with setting up early voting. I like to give people as much advance notice as possible, because the thing is that with early voting, if people can take advantage of it, then that's a great thing. If they can't take advantage of it, the earlier they know they can't take advantage of it and that they have to take a day off to vote, then the better off they are.
all right.
So I'm here as early as I possibly can be to tell you what I can tell you. But the thing is that I'm at the legislature's beck and call. If the legislature changes their mind, if you'll notice the last note on the presidential election, there's a caveat that says, if they change their mind, I will come back again to you and ask for changes. Because if they will allow me to extend these hours, I will ask for an extension of hours.
From the legislature.
Right.
So,
Well,
I mean,
but the legislature only permits me to offer these hours right now.
I mean, so the legislature, as the making law, is what you're telling me, right?
Yes.
So this is what I'm trying to understand, is that the law is already established for
No,
what you to do. No? All right, go ahead.
no, they vote on it at the very end of their legislative period. So like, they might vote on it on the 30th of June or whenever they decide they want to vote on it. It's a whim thing. So, for example, they might decide that they're going to do something, and oh, by the way, Tuesday is our voting day, so 10 days before that, I have to wait for everybody to decide to hand in a piece of paper. Well, it's going to fall on a Saturday if Tuesday is our voting day, so I'll have to stay in the office all day on Tuesday. Isn't that a shame? They don't think about that. But I'm a town clerk, so I have to stay in the office all day on Saturday.
I understand that, Nerys. I'm just trying to wrap my hand around in regards to this warrant for the 2024.
What I'm saying is there's really no rhyme or reason. It's what makes them happy. I'm just here to make it work.
So are you required to present this as a warrant to us under
I'm
law?
required,
Under law?
yes. I cannot have an election unless you approve this.
That's interesting. All right.
Yeah, I know,
That is insanity.
but that's the truth.
All right. I mean, I'm all set, I'm good with the regular warrant for the thing. I'm not a big fan of early
So,
voting
Eric,
whatsoever,
can
so.
I interrupt you
just
for a
wanna
second?
Let you know.
We haven't gotten into the action items.
Okay.
Norris has been nice enough to come and give us like a preamble to what's going on
With what?
with this, with your introduction here this evening for your appointment here. So we still have to actually go through the action items, which Eric is alluding to.
Okay,
Okay, I'm just letting you know. So we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but these are questions that are good for you.
That's fine.
For you to
I don't,
be
you know,
here for. You
I'm
stay-
here anyway.
Yep, yep. So, are you all set? Is there anything else you'd like to ask, Norris?
No,
Okay.
I'm good on that.
Here's one question.
Sure.
Nerys, are you a fan of early voting?
I am a fan of voting. I don't care, how I get people to vote as long as they vote. For example, we've already sent out 4,000 ballots for this current primary. So I don't really care how people vote as long as they participate. Because if they don't participate, then, what kind of democracy are we living in? So what bothers me is is the constant shifting of the rules. And it seems like we've been doing that for the last 8 years. You know, it's just a constant shifting. And it's very hard to keep up with. It's very, very hard to keep up with.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. We're going to go into our action items, and
You're going to skip to me?
we have, yes, we'll start
Thank
with
you.
and then we'll go to number 13, because I understand, are they here as well? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Before Norris is done, Michael, is there anything you'd like to?
I just want to say, it's just, if I may, just to, so Eric, every city in town is in the same predicament that Marshfield's, and they have to vote on the warrant, because you're voting on the warrant that will be displayed in the town of Marshfield. Hanover votes for theirs, it's all over the place, so.
No, I get that.
It's a function that they do all the time.
Right.
And the ballots are actually hung, I went down and checked those, and it will indicate who is running and all of that.
And now that we have the two specials, now that we have 2A and 4, you know, we have 2 different kinds of ballots in addition to the different party ballots. So, you know, I mean, the more information we have up there, the less confusion on the day of show. I mean, it's already, in a primary, it's already confusing enough for people to try and pick a ballot.
Okay, thank you. You set?
Yes.
Well, I appreciate that. We're going to go into our action items. All right. And we are at 7:54. So this is a discussion and vote to sign the election warrant, which we've just been going over, and I am going to just brief the board and the public for the record. So this is the warrant for the 2024 state primary, and it is for all precincts 1, 2, 2A, 3, 4, 5, 6, and
7?
7, it should
There's a
say
typo.
7.
Oh,
There's a typo.
Yeah.
There's a typo?
Yep. So I will
Darn.
note that before the motion, that's all right. At the Marshfield High School Gymnasium, 167 Forest Street, Marshfield, Massachusetts, on Tuesday, the 3rd day of September, 2024, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the following purpose: to cast their votes in the state primaries for the candidates of political parties for the following offices. And I'm just going to indicate the offices, not the districts. Senator in Congress, representative in Congress, counselor, senator in general court, representative in general court, representative in general court. That's for the other precincts. Let me just say that again. So representative in general court is precincts 1, 2, 3, 5 through 7 of the 4th Plymouth District, and the representative in general court was precincts 2A and 4 of the 6th Plymouth District. Clerk of Courts, Plymouth County, Register of Deeds, Plymouth District, County Commissioner, Plymouth County. Does that sound all right? Okay. Any questions or comments, Steve?
No, thank you.
Any questions or comments, Eric?
On this, no.
All right, I would like to make a motion, but before doing so, I'd like to acknowledge that there is a Scribner error on line, well, I'm not going to give it as a line, whereas it's indented, and it says all precincts 1, 2, 2A, 3, 4, 5, 6, ampersand, the second ampersand should be the number 7. Okay?
How about if I just do a new one and you can sign it with your warrant?
We will, but for the purpose of us voting, I want it to be correct. Do I have a second?
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded, roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Just a second.
Yep.
The board moves to sign the election warrant for the 2024 state primary for all precincts at Marshfield High School Gymnasium on September 3rd, 2024, from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded, roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to sign the election warrant.
All right, so number 2 is, also as we've discussed, a discussion and vote to approve early voting dates and times for the presidential election. And all in-person early voting, as Norris explained, our town clerk, will take place at the Town Hall, 870 Moraine Street, Saturday, October 19th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday, October 21st, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday, October 22nd, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday, October 23rd, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thursday, October 24th, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday, October 25th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, October 19th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., skipping no Sunday. Monday, October 21st, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday, October 22nd, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday, October 23rd, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thursday, October 24th, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday, November 1st, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Hours approved by the vote of the Select Board. Okay, state primary, everything's in order. All early ballots must be received by the town clerk's office no later than 8 p.m. on the election day. No ballots may be delivered to the polling place, no exceptions to either rule.
The requirement.
And it was identified previously in our appointment, emergency absentee ballots. If you have been admitted to a healthcare facility within 1 week of the election, you may use the absentee ballot application to designate someone of your choice to deliver a ballot to you. The person you designate to deliver your ballot will need to bring the signed application to your local election office. Pick up your absentee ballot, bring it to you, and return it for you by the close of polls on election day. Emergency ballots may be requested up until the close of polls. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments?
I'd like to say that I am not a proponent of early voting. I believe everything should be done on election, voting should be done strictly on one day, election day. Early voting, I believe, should be for those, I would say that, not early voting, but absentee balloting, for those that are in the military out of the country, and maybe an exception here and there. I would like to see, I mean, as well as Nerissa stated, that the legislature seems to be always changing the rules. Every election period, it seems to be, I'd like to see the state at least make it a half-day holiday or something like that for people to vote, and that way it's one day and be done with it, and there's no issues and concerns in regards to the ballots and everything. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to move forward on a motion. The board moves to approve the early voting dates and times for the presidential election as previously presented by Nerissa Casper, the town clerk. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
No.
2 in the positive, 1 in the negative. Motion carries.
So since we have the Goddings here, I will jump ahead and then go back to number 3. So thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening. Welcome.
Hi,
Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.
Jim and Maureen Garding, 65 Sheridan Drive, Marshfield.
Okay, so this is a discussion and vote on the request for permission to hold Maddie's 1K Fun Day. Maureen and Jim Godding are the proponents for this. So if you give me a second, we're going to go into our binders. I understand this is the first year with this Maddie's run, and you've done some great work over there, and we appreciate it, as the town does, for all that you've done. So if you'd like to explain what is exciting about this 1K Fun Day, and who's going to speak, and identify yourself for the record.
I'll speak. I'm Maureen Godding, 65 Sheridan Drive, Marshfield. Yes, this is a first annual for something like this, to bring families out together in a healthy environment with a little walk/run. We'll start in the beach parking lot at Rexham, go up to Jackson Street, turn around, and come back. After that, that's about a 9 o'clock start time. We expect to be all cleaned up and done by noontime. We're just going to have some packaged snacks and a packaged drink, a little bit of background music. We're going to have T-shirts that the kids will receive, and they'll get a little medal, and we're really just trying to encourage fitness and family get-together.
Okay. So this is proposed for May 17th of 2025. Is that
Yes, the
correct?
rain date of the 18th.
18th, thank you.
Yeah.
9 a.m. to 12 noon. And you met with the beach commissioner?
Yeah.
We
can-
did.
Can I jump in?
Sure.
Sorry. So we've been dealing with Kate and Jen, and so we met with Cindy.
Yeah.
She's on board.
Yeah.
Under their direction, we met with the police, we met with the fire.
Yep.
Fire has no issues. Police, Lucetti, Officer Lucetti, had us in contact with Lieutenant Sullivan. And we met with him at the playground. We talked about some tentative plans. And I've been going back and forth with emails with Jenna. I don't know if she copied them to you guys, but I believe we've addressed any concern that you guys may have had. If not, we will certainly do what we need to do.
No, this is fun. So the target age is 2 to 6?
2 to 6, that's
And you
like
work
what our
that playground
playground
over
is,
there as
yeah.
well, so that's a nice tribute as well, so. Just let me go through here for a second. I'm looking at the emails. No issues from Mike LaSalva, Fire Department at this point. Everything seems in order, so thank you. Any comments?
Yeah, it sounds like a fun community event, so best of luck.
Thank you.
Eric?
Can you explain what Matty K's Fun Day is about? You know, I didn't see anything in here describing what it's all about, so for me,
So-
the general public.
Yeah, are you aware of the playground at Rexton Beach parking lot?
I know of it.
We lost our son by suicide 7 years ago, and as a way to thank the community and help get our feet back on the ground and move forward, we got together with a group of co-workers, community people. We raised the funds, and we purchased a playground, and we gifted it to the town. And we wanted no bearing on the town to fund this or finance it, so we've agreed to, in perpetuity, to maintain and improve the playground. And we do this quite often, every year through, my wife teaches line dance at the, primarily at the Marshfield Elks. It's a donation base. If you got a couple bucks, you throw it in, put the money together, and we use that money. We like to do community things a couple times a year. And this is just something, we come up with a different idea to try to engage some younger kids to get into physical fitness. My wife I'm not the physical fitness one, she is. And it was her idea to come up with it. And it's just a little cute. Matty K is the playground, our son Matty Kelly. And it's just a Matty K 1K because we don't want the kids running forever. And it's just down the street and back, walk, run, whatever. And just a fun day. That's all we're trying to do.
No, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And thank you for the description. I never heard of it, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
so I'm glad you brought this forward and all that.
When you have
Like a very-
grandchildren in that age group, you'll be aware of it. Kids love our playground.
It seems like a great event, something for yourselves to take pride in, but it's also it benefits the town as a whole in the long run, absolutely. Thank you.
Yep.
All righty, well, thank you. So let's make a motion for the board to approve the request of Maureen and Jim Godding to hold the first annual Matty K's 1K Fun Day, which would include a walk-run for kids from the parking lot to Jackson Street and back on Saturday, May 17th, 2025, with a rain date of Sunday, May 18th, 2025, pending sign-off from the MPD and MFD. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. It'll be fun. I'll be there.
All right.
Have a great
I'm not quite 2 to 6, but I might have a couple that are in that age. Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay. So we are going to go into our discussion and vote on the authorization for bans and bonds. And I notice our treasurer, Sean Strobel, is here.
Good evening, Board.
Hello. Before you get started, I'd like to ask Michael if he could interject to the board what we're dealing with right now.
So what we're doing tonight is, as folks know, when we had our special town meeting, when our annual town meeting, we incurred some costs of things that have to go out to borrow. In July, our treasurer collector dealt with financial folks, Hilltop Security, et cetera, and went out to market, and we're covering about $939,539 worth of expenses. We're going to do a ban, and the treasurer is here really to sort of, fill in any of the questions that you may have, and then we have to take the vote, and the vote's scripted by the financial people on exactly what the vote has to say.
Okay.
So with that, our treasurer collector is happy to answer any questions.
Yep, so our binder here today, I appreciate getting this together. So we have the results of the MPL and certificate of award for the town's general obligation bond anticipation notes, which sold on July 30th. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the band was the best deal, and that's how I understood it. So we are working with that number of $939,539, and the weighted average net interest cost is 3.997%. Can you fill us in on the bidders for those and how that works, Sean?
So we had three bidders, one being Oppenheimer and Company, who was the selected bidder. Piper Sandler and Company was the second lowest bidder, and then Newburyport 5 Cent Savings Bank was the highest bidder. The coupon rates for Oppenheimer and Piper Sandler were 4.25%. Newburyport 5 Cent Savings Bank was 5.38%. But what the tipping point was is the premium that was being offered by Oppenheimer at $2,377 versus $1,522.05 that was offered by Piper Sandler and Company. Now, the premium actually helps to offset the closing costs of the band. So the net interest expense ended up being, for Oppenheimer and Company, 3.997.
So that's what we went with.
Yes, that is correct.
So I just found it strange, so on the Newburyport, I know doesn't make any sense, but the Newburyport 5 cents, that they came out with a premium of 0.
It's
Is
not
that
an-
a typical?
it's
Can you
not an-
explain that to me?
It's not unusual considering the small size of the borrowing that we're engaging in. That's why we went with a ban as opposed to
Okay.
going out to bond.
Okay, excellent. So we have the 939, 539, and that was the best deal that we could get for
That is
that?
the best.
Okay, so then we're going into what we're here tonight to discuss and vote on. So this was, as Michael explained, part of our warrant this April.
Yes, that is correct.
And it identified these as, so we have the police cruisers, tasers, 2 ambulances, Vision 21 replacement for the fire department, the MHS Furnace-Brook Middle School digital signage, South River Elementary accessibility, the tree removal, and the NPDES permit BMP implementation. And those all are, if anybody has a question, they can certainly go to our warrant and identify those. But those are the general obligation bonds and the anticipation note. And the issue date is signified as August 15th, 24.
That is
Did I
the
get that
anticipated
correct?
closing date, yes.
Yep. So that's my take on this. Let me see if I have anything else. Nope. So you know what? Eric, the floor is yours. You need to read this.
Oh, is this for me to read?
Yes, sir. Our clerk will
All
read
right.
this.
Well, before I do that, questions?
Why don't you read it, and then we'll get to the questions. How's that sound?
You are the chair, sure thing.
That's how I had to do it, so. Although mine, I think, went on for pages and pages, correct?
It was quite long.
Yeah.
You were laughing.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, vote of the Select Board. I, the clerk of the Select Board of the Town of Marshfield, Massachusetts, certify that at a meeting of the Board held August 5th, 2024, at which meeting all members of the Board were duly notified of which a quorum was present, the following votes were unanimously passed, all of which appear upon the official record of the Board in my custody. Voted to approve the sale of $539,000 at a 4.25% general obligation bond anticipation notes, the notes of the town dated August 15, 2024, and payable August 15, 2025, to Oppenheimer and Company, Inc., at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $2,377. Further voted that in connection with the marketing and sales of the notes, the preparation and distribution of the notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated July 23rd, 2024, and a final official statement dated July 30th, 2024, each in some form as may be approved by the town treasurer, being hereby ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted. Further voted that the town treasurer and the select board be, and hereby are, authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaken in compliance with the SEC Rule 15C2-12 in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, which undertaken shall be incorporated by reference in the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time. Further voted that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to establish post-issuance federal tax compliance procedures and continuing disclosure procedures in such forms as the town treasurer and bond counsel deem sufficient, or if such procedures are currently in place, to review and update said procedures in order to monitor and maintain the tax-exempt status of the notes and to comply with relevant security laws. Further voted that any certificates or documents related to the notes, collectively the documents, may be executed in several counterparts, each of which shall be regarded as an original and all of which shall constitute one and the same document. Delivery of an executed counterpart of the signature page to a document by electronic mail in a PDF file or other electronic transmission shall be as effective as delivery of a manual executed counterpart signature page as such document. And electronic signatures of any of the documents shall be deemed original signatures for the purpose of the documents in all matters relating thereto, having the same legal effect as original signatures. Further voted that each member of the select board, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them, or any of them, to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes. I further certify that the votes were taken at the meeting open to the public, that no vote was taken by secret ballot, that a notice stating that the place, date, time, and agenda for the meeting, which agenda included the adoption of the above votes and is attached thereto, was filed with the town clerk and a copy thereof posted in a manner conspicuously visible to the public at all hours in or on the municipal building that the office of the town clerk is located, and, if applicable, in accordance with an alternative method of notice prescribed or approved by the Attorney General as set forth in 940 CMR 29.03 2B, at least 48 hours, not including Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, prior to the time of the meeting and remain so posted at the time of the meeting, that no deliberations or decision in connection with the sale of the notes were taken in executive session, all in accordance with General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 18-25, as amended. Dated August 5th, 2024, and then it requires my signature afterwards.
Okay. Any questions?
Nothing.
Any questions, Eric?
I do. Maybe I missed it on this. What is the term on this loan?
Term is just 1 year.
It's just 1 year? All right.
So it's an anticipation note, so typically bands roll for 1 year. It's a financing for either 12 months or 18 months. We opted for the 12 months. With the anticipation with the next annual town meeting, we would take whatever was voted and approved at that meeting. The ban would then be paid off if we have enough borrowing that we need to do in order to execute a full bond.
So when you say like if enough borrowing, what do you mean by that?
So typically, when you go out to market, if the level of borrowing, in other words, the amount of money that we need, is not to an acceptable threshold, the appetite for interest rates as far as getting a low interest rate, if it's not a large enough amount to be borrowed, the interest rates typically are higher. So for example, this band, the interest rate at being at 3.9 is a little on the high side. But because we're borrowing just under $1 million, the appetite for an investor to pick up this level of borrowing is very, it's not very high. So that's why the interest rate's at 3.9.
All right, and then, actually, you said these are short-term loans, and so that,
Right,
I would imagine that there's no other similar ones like this that we're carrying at the moment, or are we?
No, there's no other bands that we have.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of doing this. You don't have the money, you don't have the money, unless it's an absolute emergency. So, but the town meeting, all these, if I do remember, because the town meeting approved all these, right?
That is correct.
All right. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So this was a discussion vote on the authorization of the bans and bonds. So next year, if we did go forward with the bonds based on next year's town meetings, this time of year, correct? It's always the beginning of August?
Well, actually, we go out to borrow, typically we start the process right after town meeting. In this case, there was another anticipated special town meeting agenda
Yeah.
item, which
Yeah.
didn't come to fruition. So that is why the borrowing on this particular cycle was a little delayed.
Okay. Couldn't remember if it was,
It's typically we close in July. However, in this case, because of that delay, the borrowing is happening in the month of August.
okay. Thank you for that answer. All right, let's move forward. So Eric has read, the clerk of the select board has read, will read the attached motion into the record regarding the authorization for the bans and bonds. That is correct. So I will make a motion to accept what this the clerk has read in for this vote of the select board for the bans as of the date as previously described. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye,
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
thank you. Okay. So now we're moving into number 4, which is a continuation of the last meeting that we had. We introduced time before that, but we had a discussion and deliberation of the public comment period for our select board meetings, and that's what we are discussing at this point. So I'm just going to share with the board where we stand on this, and we'll continue our deliberation. So at our last meeting, we took individual votes on all 8 items. The item number 3, which reads, any person wishing to comment to the select board shall identify themselves by name and address of residence and sign in on a sheet provided before commenting. At my request, or I was just throwing it out there, I noticed that in our petition, there was a note for the residents in that petition. Let me read it. Sorry, I think it was number 19. But we are going to go back. Just a second. So Article 19, I'm just familiarizing the board again and the public. So Article 19, and we had discussed this at different times in the last periods, but this came up and was something that the town meeting thought that we should evaluate. But it says, subject to reasonable rules, I am proposing that the residents of Marshfield who attend select board meetings be given an opportunity to speak at such meetings. My proposal requests that the select board add a public comment section to their meeting agenda. This would provide residents an opportunity to publicly comment and provide their view on matters within the select board's jurisdiction. Although the open meeting law of Massachusetts does not require public comment, it is encouraged. Public comment is allowed in many towns across Massachusetts, but Marshfield is not one of them. The select board should encourage the public to attend and speak at their meetings and welcome hearing from the residents of the town. So I had changed that to say any resident wishing to comment to the select board. And I will acknowledge that is okay. And I spoke to town council, and we will add person, which was something that Eric brought to my attention. Okay? So I'd like to make a motion that we approve that topic, number 3, as any person wishing to comment to the select board shall identify themselves by name and address of residence and sign in on a sheet provided before commenting. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
All right.
Unanimous vote to add the word person.
Okay. So we have voted on each of these. And there was a vote of, let me see. I think we're in the affirmative on each item. Is that correct, Michael?
That is correct.
Okay.
It was one vote, number 7 was a 2-to-1 vote.
Okay, thank you. And then it was a negative vote on the purpose for this select board policy by Mr. Kelly. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we are, okay, going through this. So I need to read this to the board, and then we will make a final vote. Okay? So this is our clean copy with changes, of which I just identified. So the Town of Marshfield Select Board Public Comment Policy. The Select Board welcomes information, concerns, and opinions from those attending our meetings. In order to give those wishing to comment a fair opportunity to speak, ensure compliance with the open meeting law and other legal obligations, and avoid disruption of its meetings, as chair, we will proceed as follows when in public comment period. Number 1 comment period shall occur at or near the beginning of every select board meeting. The chair may, at his or her discretion, set aside additional periods or move it to the end of the meeting. Such comment periods, however, shall not restrict the chair's discretion with respect to public comment on any matter before the select board. Number 2, public comment is reserved for matters within the select board's responsibility or topics identified on the select board's meeting notice. Comments expressing any viewpoint on these matters are welcome. Number 3, any person wishing to comment to the select board shall identify themselves by name and address of residence and sign in on a sheet provided before commenting. All comments shall be addressed through the chair of the meeting. Unless otherwise determined by the chair, each comment period shall not exceed 15 minutes and each speaker shall not exceed 2 minutes. Comments should be short and to the point and preferably not repetitive. To ensure compliance with the open meeting law, privacy laws, and other legal obligations, the select board will not engage with a speaker or with one another in deliberation on comments as they are presented during comment periods. At its discretion, the select board may schedule issues raised by a speaker for deliberation at a future meeting. Disruptive comments and conduct are not allowed. Disruptive comments and conduct include, but is not limited to, the use of discriminatory statements, comments or conduct that violate the law, including threats to harm or intimidate, and other comments or conduct that interfere with the select board's conduct of its business. The chair shall provide at least one verbal warning to a speaker if he or she makes disruptive comments or engages in disruptive conduct. If after at least one verbal warning, the speaker persists in making disruptive comments or engaging in disruptive conduct, the chair may end that person's privilege of address. All persons wishing to make a public comment are reminded of the availability of administrative channels to address any questions, comments, or concerns. The purpose for this select board policy, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court under Barron versus Calendar 491 Mass 408 in 2023 says that the public comment session be conducted in an orderly and peaceable manner, including designating when a public comment shall be allowed in the governmental meeting, the time limits for each person speaking, and rules preventing speakers from disrupting others and removing those speakers if they do. The select board reserves the right to respond to individuals with additional information in a timely manner through the town administrator. I'd like to make a motion to adopt this policy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and second, and roll call is required. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
All right,
Unanimous vote to adopt the public comment policy.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's a very big policy for this town. Okay, moving on to number 5, which is a discussion and vote to allow Marshfield Chamber of Commerce to make improvements to town-owned land for the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce Library Square Vision Plan. Michael, would you share, I believe the
Sure.
chair of the chamber was here and Laura Brait was here, but would you,
She's still here.
is she here?
Lara's actually up.
Oh.
Yep.
Will you just explain to us
Sure.
where we are with this
Yes.
and how this,
So the chamber had put a plan together. It's called Library Square Vision Plan. Looks like this when we saw this at our last meeting. And the chamber wanted to make some improvements in and around that area. I know we worked with Lara in the chamber on having Library Plaza parking lot done. We had the parking lot done where Slack Tide is, and some improvements in that general area. We had the pocket park. Lara and the chamber went after and got grant money to put in that pocket park, which is used by a lot of our residents with their kids at night. You drive by there, you can see even during the day, people having ice creams and sitting there. And I'm assuming the chamber waters the plants because they always look beautiful, the pink petunias that are there. And the next phase is right across the street from that pocket park on the side where Peppermint Twist is and the kids' gym area and Sweet Cakes and all of those restaurants. There's an island. It's figure 9, the medium strip proposed concept. And what the chamber's proposing to do, and they made their presentation last week, is to add some trees and benches to that area. And there's a couple of trees right now. They don't look very healthy. And there's some older style benches, but they're proposing adding some nice benches and some trees so that there's some shade, so that people will have an opportunity to shop at those stores, maybe sit out on those chairs and, partake in ice cream from the ice cream place or candy from the candy place or cupcakes from Sweet Cakes. Maybe go to the library, grab a book.
you're making me so
and-
hungry. I have eaten dinner. You're killing me.
And, I think it's great. I think it would be a great improvement, so.
Okay. All right,
What's
thank you.
only things holding up the projects, we just need a final vote from the board of authorizing them to move forward.
And then they provide us with their charitable information.
Correct.
We vote on that later. Okay.
Correct.
All right, any questions or comments? This
No.
is great. Eric, any questions or comments?
so I just want to be under the standing here of, so anything in orange is not being done, right? Sidewalk and,
The trees?
That's correct. The only thing
Correct.
being done, trees and benches, is that correct, Lara? Yep, trees and benches. Mr.
so they're
Miller.
planting trees
Yes,
and putting benches in?
correct.
So they are, essentially, they will be digging up some of the ground, right?
To plant the trees, yes.
Yes. So this needs to go through the Board of Public Works as well to get their approval. I don't have a problem with it, but it does need to go through the Board of Public Works according to our bylaws.
It can, yeah,
I
I'm not
mean,
gonna, we'll have to.
we can
confer with
approve it, and
council.
I would
Correct.
imagine that we'll approve it,
Yep.
and then they would like anything.
Yep.
If it's something that there
is
is in
correct.
their jurisdiction, they will do what they need to do and work with the chamber on that. Okay?
Yeah, if you can add that as a, what do you want to call it?
Well,
an
it's part of
addendum?
the way, Michael, it's part of the way it works, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so we don't need to add a
Because
condition.
DPW is
because-
really not doing the work, correct?
Yeah.
Well, you know the DPW is not, but it needs to go before the board, according to our bylaws, so I would like.
Can you reference the bylaw that you're referring to?
I was just looking up as we could talk in here. I think it falls under E code 250, and I think there's 1, 2, 3, and 5. I think it was number 5, E code 250-5, I believe is what it was. I was just looking it up right now,
All
so.
right, I think town council may still be in the building, but I'm going to. Why don't we table this?
Well, why don't we just vote, and if town council says it doesn't stand, then we'll just withdraw it.
Okay.
Or if we both have to vote, one of us has to vote first, so let's just, move it forward, I think.
Okay,
Prudent. If that's okay with you.
yep. But I'd like to get to the bottom of it.
Hi, are you still here? Can you step in and answer a question? Okay, thank you. Town council.
What meeting was town council at, do you know?
Pardon me?
What meeting was he involved in?
Who?
Town council?
I don't know. He's here.
Hello, Bob. We are in the process of discussing the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce improvements, and our Select Board member, Eric Kelly, has questioned whether or not I need to condition that the Board of Public Works has to approve this in addition to the Select Board. So this is in regards to
You're speaking about using the town pier property and the parking lots?
the parking lot between the Venturous and
The
Trumbull
chamber's,
Fun and, here,
the chamber's planting trees. Can we approve it, or does the Board of Public Works have to approve it?
Okay, I didn't understand what was even at issue here.
there are the trees on the right. It looks like a couple evergreen, a couple maples. Just guessing on that. And a few benches.
There's a median strip in Library Plaza where the chamber has a project to plant trees. So the select board on their agenda tonight is voting whether to approve that project to move forward. And select board member Kelly is raising the question of whether the Board of Public Works has to approve it.
Well, I think this land is under the care and custody of the select board, unless I'm mistaken here, but I do not believe this would be under the care and custody of the Department of Public Works or the Board of Public Works.
Well, according to the E code 250-5, permit required, no person except the Board of Public Works and persons acting on the board's orders, in the lawful performance of the duty shall break up or dig up the ground or any stones in any sidewalk or other pile of any public way, nor place thereon any staging or other temporary structure without a written permit from the Board of Public Works. Any permit issued therefore shall be enforced for such time only as the board may specify and shall be subject to such conditions as it may prescribe, and in every case shall be upon the condition that during the whole of every night from twilight in the evening to sunrise in the morning, lighted lanterns and proper barriers shall be placed as to secure travelers from danger, and upon further conditions that the permittee shall indemnify the town against the claims of all persons who may be injured in their persons and property by reason of the exercise of the privileges conferred by the permit.
I don't know whether this is within a public way or not. If it's not within a public way, it has nothing to do with the Board of Public Works.
How do we determine if it's a public way? I mean, it looks like it falls right under the Board of Public Works,
Well, it would have to be
Board
within,
of Public Works purview. I mean,
well, the section you're speaking about is digging in or obstructing public ways.
well, it says, let's put it
We have a
this way.
layout,
Shall break up or dig up the ground. So right there, if they're
Within-
gonna plant trees, they're breaking up, digging up the ground, right?
if it's within a public way, someone will have to go to the Board of Public Works and get their permission. If this is not within the layout of a public way, then the answer is, it is not something you have to go to the Board of Public Works for. We have,
So when you're talking about public way, where does it say that in this?
Article 3 is called digging in or obstructing public ways. You're reading from section 255, which is permit required. Restoration of public way, revocation of permit and bonds. Those are your sections.
Well, that was.
In order for the Board of
that's-
Public Works to have any oversight over this project or the work that's being done in it, it has to be located within the layout of a public way. There are plans, and I know they exist because there was a relocation of Snow Road, delineating what is and what is not a public way. And I didn't know this was an issue, and if I had known, I probably could have located those plans. I'm sure that the Superintendent of Public Works probably knows whether these are within the layout of a public way. But that's the critical question. If this area is not within the layout of a public way, it has nothing to do with the Board of Public Works.
I mean, it's public property, isn't it?
That's not a public way. Public property can be under the care and custody of the Select Board. It could be under the care and custody of the Board of Public Works. It could be under the care and custody of the school department. It could be under the care and custody of the Conservation Commission.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned right here, I know that's not conservation land. It wouldn't be. It's not school property. So it's either in the public way and then within the purview of the Board of Public Works, or it's under the Select Board under Chapter 40, Section 3, which means all land that's not otherwise held by another purpose is held by the Select Board.
It's grass too, correct? So would that be a public way if it's grass?
It could be. There's a number of streets in town that are laid out 50 feet wide, and the paved asphalt is only 22 to 26, so there are grass strips on either side, and that would be digging within a public way or potentially obstructing a public way. In that case, the Board of Public Works would have some measure of control over that, or the right to say yes or no. But if it's not within the public way, and I cannot answer that with the information that I've been provided, nor could anybody without the plan.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So we could make a motion to, in the affirmative, to grant this with the condition that all permits be,
Any work
my kids are driving me
be
crazy.
outside of the layout of a public way. And if it's in the public way, then it has to also go to the Board of Public Works. I can't imagine that both boards wouldn't be on the absolute same page about making this really nice improvement.
Okay, so our motion, as I have, Bob, before I actually call for a request for a second, the board moves to approve the request of the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce to make improvements to the town-owned land in Library Plaza's median strip between the businesses and the Pocket Park as presented in Figure 9 and at the last Select Board meeting. It would be acceptable to move forward with that.
Subject to the confirmation that the work that's proposed is outside the layout of a public way. And if it's within the layout of a public way, then the Board of Public Works should be consulted.
Is outside the public way.
And I imagine there's a legal meaning in what a public way is.
Absolutely.
You know what that offhand, what it might be, or?
A way that's been accepted by town meeting, it could be an ancient way. There's a few ways. It could be also by dedication. Those are the three ways that come to mind off the top of my
So
head.
it's a combination probably like state law and town bylaws, I would imagine?
Mostly case law.
Okay.
Okay. So I'd like to move forward with the motion. Are you amenable, Eric? The board moves to approve the request of the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce to make improvements to the town-owned land in Library Plaza's median strip between the businesses and the Pocket Park as presented in Figure 9 and at the last Select Board meeting, subject to the work proposed is outside the public way. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote.
Okay. Are we okay to keep moving? You want to take a recess?
Good to keep moving.
Okay. Number 6. Discussion and vote on request for permission to utilize town-owned land to hold Lobster Fest, Marshfield Chamber of Commerce. Okay. Just a second here. So this is for Lobster Fest on September 14th, 2024, with a rain date of September 15th, 2024. And the chamber is asking for a one-day licensing agreement with the town of Marshfield, allowing for this land, for this one-day fee, which is also in, I believe this is the 5th year, working with the chamber and having this on this particular site. And before we get started, I had some thoughts and feelings on this, and this has been a pretty vocal in the town. So I'm going to just read this and let you take it as you wish. So I am going to vote in favor of granting a one-day special license to the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce to serve alcoholic beverages, beer and wine at the Lobster Fest. This is there's two combinations here, so this is number 7. I'm gonna get to that as well. So I'm doing this mindful of the fact that we have a bylaw that says there should not be any consumption of alcoholic beverages on town property, which is Chapter 180, 10. And the town select board have a long history of allowing and approving events that include the sale of beer and wine on this public property. I also think that the town and the select board have even a longer history of being tolerant of dozens of events that occur each year in public where there is clearly public drinking on town property. I'm not going to be the select board member who votes to effectively cancel the North River Arts Festival, where a license is given to allow the sale of beer and wine to hundreds who attend the Arts Festival. I am not going to be the select board member who votes to effectively cancel the North River Arts Festival, nor the blessing of the fleet in Green Harbor by the Commercial Fishermen's Association. And the same town pier where public drinking is evident on dozens of commercial and recreational vessels in the public harbor, as we've seen this summer, and that hundreds of people enjoy annually. This year, I believe there was also a band playing without an entertainment permit issued by the select board. I am not going to be the select board member who votes to effectively cancel the July 3rd and 4th festivities on our town beaches that include public drinking and even fireworks displays, or ask our police and fire departments to do the impossible. I am not going to be the select board member who votes to effectively cancel requests to approve block parties in all parties of the town where public ways are closed for private events or events like Green Harbor Fest or its Labor Day events, where there is certainly public drinking. This is precisely the issue we're dealing with. The town as a whole is taking a more relaxed view that public drinking under the controlled setting of a permitted event is preferable to public drinking that will occur without permits and approvals. Sorry, it keeps going. I had a lot of thoughts. Through the issuance of a license, we can require police oversight, demand controlled area, and ensure public safety, insurance coverage, and indemnity. I've also looked at the bylaws. I spent a lot of time looking at adjacent towns like Situate, Heritage Days, Duxbury, hundreds of oversand permits for beach parking, Norwell, Pembroke, Plymouth. All have similar regulations, yet issue these licenses on public property and/or tolerate certain public consumption. Towns like Kingston, Bourne, and Falmouth have even adopted a more formal process. If the Select Board does not vote to approve this license, which is a community event, Lobster Fest, that has been going on for 5 years, I feel this is a detriment to this town. Whether or not it goes in another location next year is something the town can vote on later. I plan to introduce an amendment that normalizes this process at the upcoming town meeting this fall. Some of the people who are today lumping on as being opposed have either attended or been supported of the event online in the past. And I do not spend a lot of time looking online, but I did get some screenshots today. Lobster Fest, as I understand it, is for only several hours on one day of 365 days in a year, and it's in the second week in September. I am voting in this manner because I believe that those who are advocating against our granting such a license are not motivated by anything other than their own personal agendas without any appreciation of the consequences and on less than all of the facts. I see it as a terrific way to showcase our scenic harbor, and I mentioned this last time, our commercial and recreational fleet, and give back to the community that paid significantly with community preservation funds for the Harbor Park, Harbor Walk, the improvements at the public access town pier, and our public safety facilities. If the commercial fishing fleet, town pier, or recreational launch were credibly impacted, then this would be a different story. For those who want to make this an election issue, make it an election issue. I'm not apologizing for doing the right thing and trying to help the town. We will work on the bylaws. We will make this more friendly to things of this nature. And whether or not we go down that road, that's how I feel. And I'm sorry to go on, but I'm spilling out my guts here. So, Steve.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'll speak to 6 and 7 in conjunction just to kind of move things along. So what
Thank
we're
you.
talking about with number 6 is doing a one-day lease with the Chamber of Commerce for Lobster Fest. Now, the town leases land to the Boys and Girls Club, to the DAV, to the Webster Estate, where alcohol is served. And I wonder, too, if the same folks who are opposed to this for the Lobster Fest event, are you opposed to alcohol being served at the North River Art Society event? I would love to know that if they're consistent on that front. This is a great event. It's the 5th year. It brings a lot of people to our town. It showcases how great our community is and how beautiful and great Brant Rock is. We've received feedback and outreach from a local business that said they benefit from the increased foot traffic and that they love that they receive first-time customers that see their restaurant and they hope that they make a good impression and they come back again and become more frequent visitors or even regulars. I've seen comments from fishermen who have gone lobstering during Lobster Fest because the pier and the ramps are open. So it doesn't shut it off or close it off at all, as some people seem to believe. So I'll say it again. Fishermen have gone lobstering during Lobster Fest because the pier and the ramps are open. So I think it's a great event. It brings great people to our town. And again, the foot traffic is great for our local businesses. And so for those reasons, I support this event again for the 5th year. It's one afternoon. People are making a mountain out of a molehill. It's one afternoon. It's a great, happy event. It's positive for our town. And it's Marshfield's version of Heritage Days. It benefits a lot of local businesses and local vendors. I think it's a great event. And I think people are trying to throw everything at the wall to see what sticks. And they don't actually care about their liquor license issue. Because again, they're not consistent across the board for that for other events. So if you don't like the event and you oppose it, that's fine. Just say that. But don't throw everything else at the wall to see what sticks. That I don't really care for very much. But again, it's one afternoon. It's a great event. It's open to commercial fishermen. And it's been blown way out of proportion. I think it's ridiculous. It's a good event, and I support it.
Eric, the floor is yours.
Thank you. All right, so number 6, that's a document that I just want to make public that I am missing. Nothing in the binder here in regards to, in regards to this, letting the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce hold Lobster Fest at the location, insurance, and all that and everything. I am without paperwork on that once again. Or, at least not in the Lobster Fest, but once again in regards to certain matters now and in the past that I am short material. Mr. Darcy mentions that who would vote against North River Art Society in regards to, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't want to either, but, something we just found out what the bylaw is. I would vote no on it, all right? And all it takes is for us to change the bylaw, go to town meeting, revamp it, and change it. People, I'm not gonna say people don't have a good time there. I'm sure they do. But we've heard from a letter sent from Bob Tice in regards to the Lobster Association being impacted with this event there. And it was, to my understanding, without it being written in Tice's letter, but to what I was told, it was a unanimous decision by the Lobster Association that they did not want Lobster Fest held down there anymore. It was impacting the way they, how can you say, their livelihoods. A lot of the neighbors appear not to want to have it down there, and some of the business seem to be impacted negatively in regards to it being held down there at the time. What I look at is that I think the Chamber of Commerce should have it at the Marshfield Fair, and I think they could expand, in my opinion, expand upon this event where they have a lot more space to do things with. So I would sincerely hope that the Chamber of Commerce would reconsider trying to push us down this year and going forward in the future and do it at the Marshfield Fair where I think they could really make strides and gains in regards to this whole event going forward.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Well, I appreciate all of that. Michael, would you like to add anything?
There's nothing in the book because we didn't have anything, other than we know that they have their event, so. There is information with the liquor license.
So
we
a
just
one-day
deal-
licensing agreement, this is not unusual for this board to approve and then draft the licensing
Correct.
agreement.
Shouldn't there be, don't they have to take insurance out or anything like that?
Yes, but that's, the insurance is tied to the liquor license. They have insurance on the event and insurance for people drinking.
All right, on the
Town
event.
is-
On the
yes,
event as well, right?
Correct, but
All right,
that's,
so that should
it's
be-
the one policy does everything.
And then permitting to use the property, I would imagine.
The licensing agreement, so this would be conditioned on town council drafting a licensing agreement, which would allow them to use the piece of land that they've requested, that they've used in the past 4 years. And they would pay a nominal fee of less than $100 because we're consistent with all nonprofits.
And the other thing, well, I know, see, when I look at it, is that all this should be, some of the stuff should be within this binder. The other thing is, as well, is now that you bring it up, and thank you for the reminder, is, to my understanding, that there's a approval that needs to be you hold them from the state, I guess, whoever oversees the piers. Do we have a copy of that permit? to have this event
I'm not
there?
aware of any we can ask town councils here. We've never had a state permit.
I think the
I think
Chamber
we
of Commerce has to
received
apply
an
for
email
it.
today regarding,
According to Lara, she has it, but she can't, it's not a public hearing, so she can't comment on it.
well,
I think in the past, this event has had to obtain a permit from the state. And if they have to obtain it, they have to obtain it here too.
And it's to my understanding as well as the event thing, but also a liquor license also, if it's being held at the pier, also has to be obtained from the state as well. I believe it's a-
No, I disagree. This board issues a one-day license. Chapter 138, section
Doesn't the
12 and
state,
14.
doesn't the state oversee the pier, pretty much?
State does not oversee the granting of a one-day special liquor license.
we have to keep the ramps open.
No, well, all right.
There are certain restrictions as far as
So, what's it falling to? All right, so 320 CMR 2.0, and then 2.0 up from there. 2.03 special and general permits, and then 2.04 prohibitions. So, according to what I read in regards to 2.03, in order for, on the pier side, wherever, I don't know what the boundaries are in regards to the pier. So on the pier side, it looks like the director of the public access facilities, which I would take as Department of Fish and Game, who controls the piers, for the event, they have to issue a permit to have it on the pier, to my understanding. So there's a permit that has been applied for. And then as well as such as that, it's to my understanding that the director, if they want to have alcohol or other exclusions, that they have to get approval from the director who oversees it. So on the town side, it would be, I would say, our call, but on the pier, that seems like it's completely in the state's hands in regards to this whole alcohol part. So,
okay. I was under the impression that the permit had been granted
For the event.
for the event with the controller of the piers and
for the
the
event.
commissioner, yes.
It's
That-
to my understanding,
that-
getting a nod from somebody in the audience that looks that way, but we don't have that paperwork to
So if we don't have the appropriate paperwork for that, that's part of the conditions. Correct, Michael?
Yes, we'll just make that part of the condition.
Okay. All right. Are we ready to move forward? This is number 6. The board moves to approve the request of the Marshfield I need my glasses, it's getting late, I'm sorry, folks. The board moves, now I look like an old lady. The board moves to approve the request of the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce to use town-owned land at the town pier area on Joseph Drybeck Way for the 2024 Marshfield Lobster Fest, to host Lobster Fest on September 14th, 2024, with a rain date of September 15th, 2024. The chamber will need to sign a one-day licensing agreement with the town of Marshfield, allowing the use of this land for one day for a fee of less than $100, because the chamber is a nonprofit organization. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly second. A roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye?
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
no.
Passes by a 2-to-1 vote.
Number 7. Okay, so number 7 has to do with the discussion and vote on the application for the temporary liquor license, Marshfield Chamber of Commerce, which we have discussed as well. I want to get back into it. Okay, so we have several descriptions, site layout, We have a certificate of liability. We have the TIPS completion. Well, let's get back. So we have from Chief Tavares, the police approve of this with the above attached showing the moving of the barriers and pulling them back from the beer consumption area. The proposed area blocks the commercial pier. The new attached site map is the only one we approve. And board members, you're referring to the, let me make sure, I don't have another one in here. So I'm referencing, there are two within your binder, but we are only referring to this one here. And then I'll take it out so the public can see it as well. Okay, Eric?
Oh,
That has
are you,
the editorial change.
No, I have that.
Yep, okay. All right. So, site map revised and approved by MPD on July 31st, 2024. This version of the site map is the only version MPD approves, and you'll notice that the entrance area, beer garden consumption area with guardrails and seating, okay, on the south event gate. There's a satellite alcoholic beverage sales station along Dryback near the parking lot, which appears to be the north side of the parking lot. Rest areas, satellite alcoholic beverage sales station, also across the street from Harbor Walk. And then we've got the north event gate, and the limits of the event space are identified. This is old. Okay, any questions or comments, Steve?
No, thank you.
Eric?
No, I mean, everybody knows where my stance is on this. I
Okay.
don't have anything.
That's all right. All right, so I'm going to move ahead with a motion. The board moves to approve a temporary outside all alcoholic beverage license for John Hernan of the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce for September 14th, 2024, with a rain date of September 15th, 2024, with hours of operation from 12 noon to 5 p.m. for the town pier area on Joseph Drybeck Way for the 2024 Marshfield Lobster Fest, pending sign-off from MPD, a copy of the liquor liability insurance naming the town of Marshfield as additional insured, a copy of well-defined plan for consumption area that includes clear boundaries, barriers, access, egress, tables, and seating approved by the MPD, and all servers must be TIPS trained. Do I have a second?
Second.
Madam Chair, did you want to add the language about pending the state?
Oh, yes. I understand that it's already been, but we will. TIPS trained, sorry, folks. Pending permit, not actually, it wouldn't be a permit, pending.
Can ask town council the correct term.
Bob, how do I verbalize the request for the condition of making sure that the boat ramp is not in violation with what we have here? I understand that it's already been permitted, but
You're voting that way, then it is conditioned upon receipt of state approval.
what's the granting authority, right?
I'm sorry, I don't know the exact name of the entity.
Okay,
We can ask Lara. Lara's right
I think
there.
it's a fishing game, wildlife or something.
is it
like that.
Fish and Game? No,
Is it the Architectural Access Board?
just a second. Office of Fish and Game,
Office of Fishing and Boating Access.
thank you.
Fishing and Boating Access.
Office of fishing and boating access.
Okay,
Okay? Do I need to repeat that?
sure, if you don't mind.
The board moves to approve a temporary outside all alcoholic beverage license for John Hernan of the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce for September 14th, 2024, with a rain date of September 15th, 2024, with hours of operation from 12 noon to 5 p.m. for the Town Pier area on Joseph Drybeck Way for the 2024 Marshfield Lobster Fest, pending sign-off from MPD, a copy of the liquor liability insurance naming the town of Marshfield as additional insured, a copy of a well-defined plan for consumption area that includes clear boundaries, barriers, access, egress, tables, and seating approved by the MPD, and all servers must be tip-trained pending state approval from Office of Fishing and Boating Access. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
No.
Passes by a 2-to-1 vote.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to number 8. Which is a discussion and vote on application for temporary liquor license for Break Rock Brewing Company.
Madam Chair, would you mind checking with the folks in the audience which action item they might be here for?
Folks, are you here for an action item? I'm sorry?
Break Rock Brewing.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Sorry. You're learning a lot.
Did you bring any with you?
Not allowed. Okay. So this is number 8. So we have the police approve of this with the above attached showing the moving of the barriers and pulling them back from the beer consumption area. Oh, that's not fun. Sorry. Why is that part of this? Steve, help me out here. It's not right. Break Rock Brewing. Do you have number 8?
Mm-hmm.
Just a second. Okay, it's just part of the other, okay. So this is a one-day license request, beer and wine, for Marshfield Lobster Fest as well, is this correct? Yes. Requests the consideration for a one-day beer and wine license for Break Rock Brewing for at the Marshfield Lobster Fest, Saturday, September 14th, from 2024, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Rain date Sunday, September 15th, 2024, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. The event will be held at the Marshfield Town Pier. It offers a family-friendly entertainment, food trucks, local art. As a Marshfield native and past attendee, it's great to see the event positively showcase. This is not the same thing.
Yes.
Do we have any? Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
That's not- Thank you. Jay Southwood. I don't know if I'm going to need you, but it's getting late, so
Okay.
just hang tight.
Sure.
Wine and malt beverage only. Copy of liquor liability insurance naming town of Marshfield as additional insured. Tips. Written event narrative. So I'm just making you aware that the area near the south event gate has been changed. This was part of your, okay, just so you're aware.
Thank
So
you.
you can speak to the organizers.
Will do.
Okay? All right. Okay, all set. Any questions or comments?
It stinks to be here this whole time, but I guess the silver lining is knowing that 6 and 7 passed, 8 would have been moot otherwise, so it's good that you were here.
I appreciate you hearing it. We work with several towns on the South Shore. It's the first time with Marshfield, and I do like to, personal point of pride, to make a in-person appearance the first time we apply with a new town, so I appreciate
Name
the
for the
time.
record, please. We usually don't.
James Southwood, it's 19 Blanchard Road, Weymouth, Mass.
Okay, thank you so much.
So we look forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'd like to, if you have any questions, comments? Okay. The board moves to approve a temporary outside wine and malt beverage license for J. Southwood of Break Rock Brewing of Quincy for September 14th, 2024, with a rain date of September 15th, 2024, with hours of operation from 12 noon to 5 p.m. for the town pier area on Joseph Drybeck Way for the 2024 Marshfield Lobster Fest, pending sign-off from MPD, a copy of liquor liability insurance naming the town of Marshfield as additional insured, a copy of a well-defined plan for consumption area that includes clear boundaries, barriers, access, egress, tables and seating approved by the MPD, and all servers must be tips trained. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
I just want to add, Madam Chair,
Yes.
would you like to add in, I think you added in the first one, that's why I'm asking, is in regards to approval from the state and the pair there?
Just a second. I guess where it's the same. Michael, it would be a similar motion.
We
to
could
what
put the same
have.
thing, just adding pending.
Yep.
Is that necessary, Bob, since it's tied into Lobster Fest's liquor license? Does it need to be repeated that there's a contingency for state approval?
If it's on the town pier, you have to have that provision of fish and game, their Office of Boating Safety.
Okay.
If it's on the town pier.
All right, thank you, Eric. So I will amend what I just said by adding pending state of approval, Office of Fishing and Boating Access to the last line of number 8.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
No.
Passes by a 2-to-1 vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't get a chance to write that in here.
Are you guys here for a particular action item?
There were
Oh.
I think. Okay, number 9.
So you're here for all of them.
Discussion and vote to approve change of restaurant all alcohol liquor license hours of operation for the Marsh is number 9. Is this yours?
Yep.
Thank you. Michael, would you explain what's
Sure.
going on with this?
So the Marsh currently has a license. Their hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 12:45 a.m., Sunday, 11:30 a.m. to 12:45 a.m., and they've asked to have earlier open hours. They're requesting, they want to change their hours Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12:45 a.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12:45 a.m. So adding some additional hours. This is allowed under the law, and the process to change their hours is to come before the licensing board, that being the Board of Selectmen, to approve the change.
And we're the only board they need to come in front
That
of
is
for that, correct?
That is correct.
Questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Eric?
I wish them well.
Okay. So number 9, the board moves to approve the request of Amar LaRossi, owner of the Marsh, located at 1840 Ocean Street, to change their hours of operation from 11:30 a.m. until 12:45 a.m. to 9 a.m. until 12:45 a.m., Monday through Saturday, and on Sundays change from 11:30 a.m. until 12:45 a.m. to 10 a.m. until 12:45 a.m., effective September 15, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
All right.
Unanimous vote to approve.
Okay, number 10. Discussion and vote on request for permission to accept donation of $261,000 from the North and South River Watershed Association. Michael, will you fill us in on this one?
Sure. So as folks know that have been following Conservation and the Board of Selectmen, this is sort of a 5-year project. It's been going on for 5 years now. This is sort of the largest chunk. We received a $1 million grant. Conservation put an application, and we got a $1 million grant, which we had to match with about $980,000. So it's almost a $2 million project. This is to remove the dam at Veterans Park. This will improve the flow of the river and make it easier for fish to move around and navigate. As part of that, the town matched this at town meeting. Town meeting supported $650,000, and the North-South River Watershed Association stepped up, and they're donating another $261,000 towards the match because they're concerned about the South River, and this is making major improvements in the South River by removing the dam. And then the next piece of this is the memorandum of understanding between the town and the North-South River Watershed Association, and the project will get underway.
Okay. So that's a total of $911,000 for that project from the
Yes.
watershed and the
Yep.
town. Okay. Any questions or comments, Steve?
No, thank you.
Eric?
How much, in regards to this dam, how much, I guess, how can I put this? Water is being like retained. I'm just wondering, do you know if there's like anyone that has wells in that area? I mean, if we remove the dam, then I don't know if we're gonna be impacting any water tables and.
No. Well, it's not gonna, so the South River is controlled. There's a number of people that control the locks, but once the dam's out, the water will just flow. It will go from a big ponded area up in Chandler Pond to a very small, narrow waterway. The state owns the dam. They no longer want, the state funds dams. They no longer want to fund dams. In fact, the state wants all dams removed all across the Commonwealth because dams are dangerous. If they're not properly taken down and they break during a storm, there is the potential for flooding. The town DPW works with a number of residents up along the South River all the way into Duxbury and beyond to control the water during like a big rainstorm or a tornado or a hurricane or something like that. But this, you can go down there. There are some days where the water wheel isn't even spinning, so the water isn't very high in that area. About 3 or 4 years ago, further up where the river is, how would I describe it? So as you're coming down 139, you can go off to the right, and you go into like the backside of Pudding Hill. We cleaned out, when I say we, the town, in a partnership with the state through another grant that we got, we cleaned out all of those little tributaries that, to make the water move more quickly. Underneath Route 139, as you're going further up, like you're heading towards the high school, there's a big aqueduct that they cleaned out. It's a big pipe. It's almost as tall as I am because you can walk through it. That was 3/4 full. So part of another state grant was to clean all of that out to improve the water flow. Then there's a fish ladder there, so they're going to make some improvements to the fish ladder once a year in Veterans Park. So you got the Veterans Teardrop, which in that project, we're going to make sure that project is being engineered and designed so that the veterans are able to maintain the tear duct and to maintain the proper level. By taking out the dam and controlling the water, they have a fountain that doesn't work all the time because there's so much silt that it clogs the fountain. Once the dam's removed, once the water is controlled, that will control the silt. The fish ladder will be improved in theory, according to the scientists, which I am not. The salmon, the alewives, and pikes and other fish that go upriver, they use the steers. They sort of jump and go up. It's what the state mandates that they want to see. I can't tell you how many gallons of water are displaced, but if you go up there, you can see the current's actually very small in that area. I know that when Bill Grafton was here and he was our conservation administrator, I did go out a couple of times with him in the state to, when they were here, sort of charting everything. We went out. They also do fish counts, and they actually get into the water, and they put an electrical charge in the water, which sort of stuns the fish, and they come up and they do sort of a random count and then use charts to figure out how many fish are there. But, in all of that, you see that the water moves very slowly. Oh, and the final thing is under Route 3A, they clean that culvert out also. That was another grant to do that. So all of that work was done in preparation. The only thing that the veterans would like to see is, once the dam's taken down, it's going to be engineered in a way that the water will continue to work. So, it might have to be powered. There might not be enough water. More than likely, there's not going to be enough water because once the dam's gone, the water will actually go down. We had to negotiate with Situate Chair. Believe it or not, Situate Chair Company actually owns more of the river through Veterans Park than actually the town. They own out more than halfway, so town council had to draft an easement, both short and long-term easement. And because they're good neighbors, they could have been paid for the easements. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to be, part of the community, and that was going to be their contribution. So that's sort of in a nutshell everything that's happening there.
All right, I mean, I understand, the state wants certain things and all that, everything. I'm just looking at, like I said, my concern is we eliminate the dam. It's going to changing the water table. I mean, do we know if anybody has any wells in that area that may benefit off what's dammed up and have an impact on it or anything?
Well, I don't know, but a little further up the South River, there's a private gentleman that owns his own dam, and he's using his own money and working with the state to take that dam down also.
All right.
Because the state doesn't want dams, correct. Your question is, do we know, town council, do you know if there's any, pardon me, Madam Chair.
No, that's fine.
There are some shallow wells by some private property owners along the Chandler's Mill Pond who may have to make some changes to their wells in order to get drinking water. I don't know what the depth are, but it's been known for a long time that there's at least one person with a shallow well that draws water probably from the pond or the high groundwater because of the pond.
At least one, there could be others, you say.
There very well could be, but there's only several residents around that pond, maybe 5 to 7 or thereabouts.
They could be significantly impacted by this if it empties out, is what you're saying, right?
They could be significantly impacted by a dam failure. And everyone downstream would be significantly impacted by a dam failure.
All right,
That dam is very old. It's in poor condition. It's been, I've seen it myself. It needs to come down before it comes down as a result of a storm event. And if it comes down in a storm event because it's still there, the damage will be catastrophic below that dam.
So all these people know that this dam is coming down. They're all well
This has
aware.
been discussed for years,
Right.
at
So
least on
they're not
that.
opposed to it or anything like that.
I'm sure there are some people that are opposed to it, some people that want to continue to see a pond there. The problem is the dam is privately owned. And if the person that wants it down wants to pay for it to be removed or gets funds to do that, he has every right to take it down. The town doesn't own the dam.
Right.
And he has the absolute right. And much like with dogs, there's strict liability associated with dam ownership. So if anything happens to any downstream properties, including the town property, Old Ocean Street, Main Street, the Veterans Park, the bridge on Main Street, all of which would be threatened in the event of a dam collapse.
All right, so just to make sure that we're clear, are we still talking about the same dam that we're looking at?
There's two
There is
dams
two.
of which I'm
All right.
aware. There's the one that's located at the Veterans Park.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Which is the issue
Another one
tonight.
upstream.
There's another one upstream, and there are probably more than that that are further upstream, because that river, or that tributary of the South River, extends back into Duxbury and over where the Camp Wing is. I believe they've even taken out some of the dams further upstream, so.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. This might be a subject that we could have somebody in and explain to us what's going on with us.
And have Bill Finn come and
Yeah.
update as the project
Can you add that
evolves.
to-
Yep.
To our agenda, okay. All right, well, let's move forward on this. The board moves to approve the donation of the North and South Rivers Watershed Association in the amount of $261,000 toward the match for Veterans Memorial Park Dam removal and river restoration project pending the development of a memorandum of understanding between the town and the NSRWA. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye,
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
thank you.
Passes unanimously.
And moving forward, we are into number 11, which is a discussion and vote on request for permission to hold 2025 Frozen Pilgrim Race with the South Shore Race Management. And that is, everything is in order. It'll be on Saturday, January 26th. Same location at Marshfield High School and along the same course as we did last year, and there's 3 different courses, as I recall. Were there any problems with this in the past, Michael?
No.
Okay.
No, Madam Chair. They've included them, all the different maps.
Yep. Look through it. No issues from fire, I don't see them.
Fire just recommends
Police,
that they...
Jason Luchetti.
Yep, Madam Chair, the fire's recommended that they have one person EMS detail for the duration of the race.
Okay. Okay. And fire, Jason Luchetti, they're all set. Detail officers, same as setup as last year. Okay. Questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Okay. Eric?
In regards to the details on these road races and all that, is it generally the sponsors paying for them?
That is correct.
All right. Now, this one looks pretty good. It's contained in pretty much one area, so we wish them well.
Okay, thank
Do
you.
they need, like, one thing to add, and I didn't see them request it, but, I mean, has there been an issue, like, especially where it's just about in the winter of a snow date, you know, in case they get snow on that day, or?
Well, we've been lucky the last, 10 years now. We haven't really been getting a lot of snow, but they would just reschedule. They'd have to reschedule. They'd have to come back before.
I was gonna say.
Because they didn't put a snow date in.
Right, that's what I was wondering is, probably get ahead of it if they're thinking of putting a snow date in, but other than that, it looks good. I'm good.
Okay, thank you. The board moves to approve the request of Anne Marie Winchester of South Shore Race Management for the 4th Annual 2025 Beach and Back Half Marathon and the 5K to take place on Saturday, May 17th. You know what? Am I not doing this right? I'm sorry, I apologize. I take it back. The board moves to approve the request of Anne Marie Winchester of South Shore Race Management for the 2025 Frozen Pilgrim Race for Sunday, January 26th, 2025, beginning at 10 a.m. The race will start from Marshfield High School for a 1 mile, 3 mile, and 5 mile road race. Police details and EMTs will be on site as recommended by those departments. The race will benefit the Kurt Kistler Foundation for Youth Achievement, pending sign-off from the MPD and MFD. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
All right.
Thank you.
Unanimous vote to approve.
Number 12, discussion and vote on request for permission to hold the 2025 Beach and Back Half Marathon and 5K South Shore Race Management. So that's what I was missing. Any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Eric?
No, I don't think so. The only thing is, I guess to ask is, I don't see a rain date for them as well, if they were interested. Were they correct about that, Mike?
No, they have not submitted, so if something changed and we had a hurricane or something, or rain, they'd have to come
Come
back.
back, right? All right.
Some of these, though, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yep.
Some of these events go off whether it rains or not,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
This might be a race where, you know,
Regardless of what the weather is, okay.
All right. Sorry, back to my glasses, guys. So the board moves to approve the request of Anne Marie Winchester of South Shore Race Management for the 4th annual 2025 Beach and Back Half Marathon and 5K to take place on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. The half marathon beginning at 7:30 a.m., the 5K to begin at 8 a.m. Police detail and EMTs will be on site as recommended by the departments. The registration area, staging, and finish will be located on Ocean Street in Brant Rock, pending sign-off from the MPD and MFD. Do I have a second?
Second.
motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
Thank you. We did number 13, that was Maddie's case. And we're into number 14, which is a discussion and vote on permission to place flags on the town green honoring International Overdose Awareness Day from August 22nd, 2024 to September 4th, 2024. Michael, will you just add in on this?
Sure.
Because this is a great. we're all
This
participating.
event's been going on for quite a while now. The vigil itself will be held at Harbor Park on Thursday, August 29th, and it's International Overdose Awareness Day, really related to opiates. And the one silver lining is that this year, there has been a drop in the amounts of deaths. So in 2022, there were 2,347 people that died from opiate overdose. In 2023, there were 2,125 people. So there was a reduction by 10%, and it's thanks to organizations like this across the country that has heightened the awareness, the education, the counseling, things like that, to get those numbers down, to make people more aware. So they'll be putting up these little purple flags, and people's been seeing them every year, on the town green. 2,125 of them will go up this year on the town green. And like I said, the vigil is on the 29th, and also the night of the 29th, we have Town Hall illuminated in purple lighting. And of course, the board's invited
Yep,
to the event.
absolutely. Okay. I'd like to make a motion that the board moves to approve the installation of the purple flags on the town green from August 22nd, 2024 through September 4th, 2024. There will be 2,125 flags installed representing 2,125 individuals in Massachusetts who lost their lives to opiate overdoses in 2023. The Historic Commission will be notified by the town administrator. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
I have a question.
Yes.
regards this first. I'm trying to, I know one of the towns, I think it was Hingham, whatever, a while back, they wanted to put flags or something on the police cars, and the town wouldn't allow them in regards to, maybe it might have been Weymouth, in regards to one of a police officer or a firefighter that was killed in duty or something like that. And the town said they wouldn't allow it, I believe, under reasons that I could understand. I mean, what do we, are we in the same thing in regards to allowing town flags on?
These aren't
private
town
property?
flags.
I mean, flags on town property.
These are little purple flags, and this will be, we've been doing it as long as, at least the last 7 years. This will be probably our 7th or 8th year doing it, so.
All right, so I mean, there's nothing negative. I mean, I don't look at it as being negative, but I mean, nothing that in the future could come of it in regards to?
No.
All right, that's all. Okay, thank you.
Okay. The board moves to approve the installation of the purple flags on the town green from August 22nd, 2024 through September 4th, 2024. There'll be 2,125 flags installed representing 2,125 individuals in Massachusetts who lost their lives to opioid overdoses in 2023. The Historic Commission will be notified by the town administrator. I read it twice now, so. Do
Oh,
I
I'm
have a
sorry.
second?
Motion made, and a motion was made and second. A roll call is in order. Ms. Fiddler?
Aye,
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
thank you. I'm going to recommend that we take a short recess, like 3-minute recess. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
All right.
Unanimous approval
9:37.
for a 5-minute break.
5 minutes, fine. Thank you. I'd like to bring this meeting back to order. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion remain and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to return from recess and conduct the remainder of our business.
Thank you. Okay, so we're on number
15.
15. Thank you. And this is a discussion and vote on request for permission to accept donation, which is the Ventress Memorial Library. Mary and David Murray of Marshfield would like to donate $100 to the library's gift account to be used for children's services. This donation is being made to celebrate the 75th birthday of their friend Beverly Biviano, a Marshfield resident. Very nice. Cindy Marcoux. Any questions or comments? Questions or comments?
No?
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to accept on behalf of the Ventress Library a donation of $100 from Mary and David Murray for the library gift account. The funds will be used for the children's services. The donation was made in recognition of Marshfield resident Beverly Biviano's 75th birthday. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept the $100 donation.
Okay. Number 16, discussion and vote on request for permission to accept donation, Recreation Trails Committee. On behalf of the Recreation Trails Committee, please accept this donation of $350 from Nerys Casper. RTC welcomes this most generous donation. Further partnership with town residents, improve our vast network of community trails. Any questions or comments? Eric?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. The board moves to accept on behalf of the Recreation Trails Committee a donation in the amount of $350 from Nerys Casper. This donation will fund the welcome installation of a second bench along one of the most popular trails, the rail trail. The funds will go into the Recreational Trails Committee donation and gift account. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept the $350 donation.
Okay, thank you, Nerys Casper. Number 17, the discussion and vote on application for annual peddler's license Superior Lobster. Applicant is Sue Gallagher, Superior Lobster Wholesale. Hours of operation Monday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 6:30. Any questions or comments on this peddler's license?
No.
I do. On the hours of operation, it says Monday through Sunday night. I mean, is there a timeline on the date there, or is it?
It's just open-ended, correct, Michael?
This is a peddler's license for its annual. It's an annual. Yeah. So they have to
Oh, so
apply
what?
every year.
All right, so.
So they have the
throughout
ability to
year,
do.
for the year.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
So then it would expire on June 20th, 2025?
Yeah, they can.
Calendar year.
It's the calendar year. Oh, okay. Thank you. Just a second, I'm sorry. The board moves to approve an annual peddler's license for Sue Gallagher of Bourne for Superior Lobster LLC, a wholesale lobster business, who will operate at events in Marshfield with permission of the event organizer, Monday through Sunday from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. The applicant is subject to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts motor vehicle laws and the Town of Marshfield zoning bylaws, pending sign-off from MPD, MFD, and taxes being paid. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
Okay, number 18, moving right along. Discussion and vote on application for multiple one-day entertainment licenses, Magical Moon Foundation, and they've been in front of us. Donna Green has been in front of us before. This is a great event. Live music, amplification, music and lectures in the barn for raising funds. No tent, only by food trucks if at all. as far as the food. And they pulled their permits. No issues with the police. No issue with the fire, other than conducting a walkthrough of the venue prior to the start date, which we did last year. Is that in your? Yep. Okay. Okay, any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
All right.
I don't,
Okay, the board moves to approve a temporary indoor entertainment license for Donna Green of the Magical Moon Foundation, located at 575 Summer Street, for 5 fundraising events. August 10th, 2024, from 7 to 9 p.m. August 17th, 2024, from 7 to 9 p.m. August 31st, 2024, from 7 to 9 p.m. September 14th, 2024, from 7 to 9 p.m. And September 28th, 2024, from 7 to 9 p.m. All events will be held in the barn and will include live music and an amplification system pending sign-off from the MPD and MFD. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
I,
Unanimous vote to approve.
Okay. Discussion and vote on request for permission for Bridgewater State University students to use the Brant Rock Beach for the field trip. I recall there was something about just shells, no, something or other with this, Michael,
That is correct, yes. It's in the motion.
in the
I
motion.
spoke to the Conservation Administrator.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments, you guys?
No, thank you.
I don't.
Okay, I'll just so that the public is aware, Jay Cordiero teaches marine mollusk course at Bridgewater State University. I was wondering if it would be possible to bring my students to Brant Rock Beach to collect some shells for class. The course meets afternoons on Wednesdays, 4 to 6:40, and September 4th through October 23rd. Thank you. Off-season, no need for bathrooms. Okay. The board moves to approve the request of Jay Cordiero, a professor who teaches marine mollusk courses at Bridgewater State University, to bring 14 students to Brant Rock to collect some shells for their class. The course meets on Wednesdays from September 4th through October 23rd, pending sign-off from the MPD, Beaches, and the Conservation Commission. The Conservation Administrator has requested under Chapter 505 regulations, the students are able to collect shells but cannot remove soil, sand, gravel, or aggregate materials of any kind. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
I,
Unanimous vote to approve.
Number 20, discussion vote on request for permission for Colby Laria and Marshfield Cultural Council to place signs on Town Green to advertise the Marsh Vegas Hometown Festival. This is the Cultural Council event. Michael, right?
That is correct. Funded by the Cultural Council. This gentleman, Colby, who's requesting the sign, had the sign made and wants to put it out facing Ocean Street, actually starting tonight after we approve this. This Marsh Vegas Hometown Festival, I think it's a group of Marshfield High School kids that either sing or play instruments and music, and it's going to be a concert out on the town green.
And the date of the concert is?
The 10th.
The 10th. Okay. Is this something we would do? And, I mean, it doesn't seem like
Yes.
any problem.
No.
Okay. All right. Eric?
oh, good, thank you.
Okay. Okay. The board moves to approve the request of Colby L'Oreal, college student collaborating with the Marshfield Cultural Council to host the Marsh Vegas Hometown Festival that will take place on the town green on Saturday, August 10th, to place the 3 feet by 8.3 feet sign on the corner of the town green facing Ocean Street from August 5th, 2024 through August 10th, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
I,
Unanimous vote to approve. and it's a pretty enthusiastic picture of the young
Yeah,
man.
that's going to be fun. Discussion and vote on National Farmers Market Week 2024 proclamation. I think this is, I will read it into the record, and then we'll see what we have to say about it. Proclamation, National Farmers Market Week 2024. Whereas the Marshfield Farmers Market is important to our community, providing consumers with increased access to fresh, affordable, and healthy local sourced products. And whereas the Marshfield Farmers Market plays a key role in supporting the sustainability of local farms, revitalizing rural communities, and providing opportunities for farmers and consumers to interact. And whereas the Select Board recognizes the importance of the Marshfield Farmers Market to our residents and to local farmers, especially during these uncertain times, we hereby proclaim the week of August 4th through the 10th, 2024, as Farmers Market Week in the town of Marshfield. We urge all citizens to visit the Marshfield Farmers Market on Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. to learn more about the local products that are offered there year-round. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands this 5th day of August in the year 2024, the Select Board. So, Michael, this has been going, so we had a similar proclamation, I'm guessing it's the same in 2022, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So did we do it last year?
I don't think we did, yeah, Laurie knows. Laurie asked that we
great.
would do this, and I
Yeah.
think you're gonna present it.
Yes, yes.
So, I mean, it's a really great event. I mean, nationally, they do this to recognize
read
the
it.
importance of homegrown, so.
Well, I know the town really appreciates having that available to go down and
Oh, yeah.
walk around in the farmer's market.
Yeah. I even like
It's a
when they do
great
it out here.
opportunity.
Sometimes they do it
Yeah.
out during the fair, they'll do it out here on the town
Yeah.
green.
Yep. Well, I'm a great-granddaughter of a dairy farmer, so you know how that goes. Any comments?
Yeah, I mean, another proclamation upon us, and, not to say that anybody would be opposed to the farmers in this country and all that. I just don't understand why all these proclamations are coming beyond us, besides looking for a vote that kind of puts a divisive tone to it, depending on what it is. I mean, if the farmers were looking to put a sign out in front of someplace and all that, so be it, I'd support and all that, but I don't know, I just don't get these proclamations. It's already recognized, I would say, in the calendars, or if you look it up online and everything like that, you should just go with that. But other than that, I'm good.
You're good, or you want to, you're not good?
Well, I mean, I'm good in regards to my comments.
Okay,
so.
okay. All right. The board moves to approve the National Farmers Market Week 2024 proclamation proclaiming the week of August 4th through August 10th, 2024 as Farmers Market Week in the town of Marshfield. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
No.
Passes 2-1.
Okay. Number 22. Almost done, folks. Discussion and vote on annual board committee reappointments and other reappointments for the terms expire on June 30th, 2024. And the following people who's currently, just a second. Following people whose current terms expire on June 30th, 2024, have requested reappointment for a 3-year term expiring on June 30th, 2027, and have submitted signed query forms. Mary Whidden, Recreation Commission. Scott DeCastro, Recreation Trails Committee. Mark Huber, Marshfield Municipal Affordable Housing Trust Board of Trustees. Cecilia Delgardillo, Marshfield Municipal Affordable Housing Trust Board of Trustees. Kerry Richardson, Marshfield Municipal Affordable Housing Trust Board of Trustees. Brian Crowley, Advisory Board. The following people whose current terms expire on June 30th, 2024 have requested reappointment for a 1-year term expiring on June 30th, 2025, and have submitted signed query forms. I'd like to give a disclosure that I have signed a disclosure form, and I did speak to the Ethics Commission in 2023 on this, and this is Robert Galvin, Town Council. Any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, Madam Chairwoman, there are three people, just due to the fact of the Housing Trust, I didn't support it at town meeting, and I do have concerns, not only in regards to the Housing Trust, but Cecilia Delgadillo and Kerry Richardson in regards to them being on the Housing Authority, elected members of the Housing Authority, also being on this is, I look at it as a potential conflict of interest. So if you don't mind doing separate votes for each individual,
Okay.
that would be great.
Sure.
And I think that's it. So.
Okay, can I suggest I will take Mary Whidden, Scott DeCastro, Mark Huber, Kerry Richardson, and Brian Crowell. I'm sorry.
Would you be fine doing the motions by committee, just to be a little bit faster?
Yep, that's fine. That works.
Yeah, I think that benefits
Does
everybody.
that work okay? Since it's late and you just made that suggestion, I'm going to have you make this motion.
I will make a motion to reappoint for 3-year terms expiring on June 30th, 2027, the following individuals who have requested reappointment and have submitted signed query forms. So we'll start with the Recreation Trails Committee, Mary Whidden, Scott DeCastro, and Mark Huber.
No, Mark is
No.
on the,
No.
There we go, yeah,
so
just
I'll
those two.
second those.
Sorry.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
If Mark Huber's not included in it, then.
No.
Aye, yes.
Correct, yeah, sorry. I might have to get glasses.
A unanimous vote to reappoint Mary Whidden and Scott DeCastro.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I do need glasses, oh no. And then I'll make a motion to reappoint Brian Crowley to the advisory board.
I'll second that.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Lynn Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve Brian Crowley, Advisory Board.
All right, next committee we have up is the Marshfield Municipal Affordable Housing Trust Board of Trustees. So that would be Mark Huber, Cecilia Delgadillo, Carrie Richardson, and,
And that's it.
yep,
I'll second that.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
aye.
Mr. Kelly?
No.
Passes by a 2-to-1 vote. And then Mr. Crowley. Did we do Crowley? Yep, so we're done on that one. Now, we've got Town Council.
Okay. The board moves to reappoint Robert Galvin, Town Council, for a 1-year term expiring on June 30th, 2025, and has submitted a signed query form. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
I do have a question in regards to this.
Yes.
All right, so we're appointing him as town council for a 1-year term, right?
Correct.
So are we, basically, this is, I would look at it as a contract to a degree,
It's an appointment.
an appointment?
He's an
So he will be,
appointed-
all right, we're appointing him as our town council.
Correct.
right? So should we, I mean, this is what I was kind of floating around. So, I mean, he charges the town monies for work performed and all that.
Yes, he does.
So, I mean, should we be looking for it like, as an appointment, his rates and whatever else like that? I mean,
It's an appointment. Town council's appointed by the Board of Selectmen.
correct. So,
And all town councils charge, because no, they don't work for free.
oh, no.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm just saying, should we, as appointing him, even though he's town council, should we know, like, in regards to rates, in regards to certain subject that he's charging us? Or, I mean, how does that all work in regards to?
Bob probably charges the least of anybody. Marshfield's always had their own town council. Some other cities and towns use big law firms which charge a substantial amount of money, and they don't have the consistency, so that's why the town keeps Bob. We've always had town council. Before him, we had Bob Marzelli, who was here for about 25 years, and before that was actually Bob's dad was here for probably 20 years.
All right, I mean, Well, I appointed him and really not, I guess, getting any financial information, I guess, so to say. I mean, I don't know, I just look at that, it's too, I don't know, he gets the one-year term, all right, he's a town council and all that, but I just have a hard time, I like Bob and all that, but I just have a hard time trying to put this in words here that are escaping me, but without any financial information behind it, you know. I mean, it's like anybody else that comes before us that wants a reappointment, whether it be the police chief, fire chief, or whatever like that. We got something laid out before us in regards to what we're paying them and in benefits and everything else like that, what their roles are. So that's why I have my concerns here in regards to that, so.
Town council doesn't work that way. It's never been that way. We don't do rates. When Bob applied to be hired by a previous sitting board, they interviewed a number of candidates, and Bob was selected because of the package that he put together. You know, he doesn't charge for every minute of phone calls. He groups in, you know, he allows so many minutes per month. It's a flat rate on a lot of his legal things, so, you know, you'll have to trust my judgment that he's, you know,
All right, let me ask you this.
very reasonable.
So if, without Bob being here, obviously, so if Bob is, what are you saying in regards to the previous search committee, I guess, in regards to what he put together for a package? I'm sure there's some changes that since then, what did you say, that was 10 years ago?
I think about 10, yeah.
Is, so he doesn't charge for certain things and all that?
Kate would know better, so 10? So he's been here 7, so I know he was before that. It was with Matt McDonough, because I know Matt was on. Yeah, I don't think there's any, but yeah, he's really, like I say, his rates are very low, yeah.
All right, I just,
But he's not reappointed based on his rates. That's never been,
no, I get that. You know, it's just reappointment, but the whole thing is that, like I said, I compare it to the fire chief or else like that, because he is charging us. It's not like, I would say like, the 5 previous people that wanted to be appointed, I don't believe they're getting paid for it. They're volunteering their time, you know, so.
but the police chief and the fire chief, just to differentiate,
Yeah.
those are actual employees. Bob's not an employee. He's an appointed town council. He's not an
Correct,
employee.
but he charges the town a fee,
Charges fees for services provided, yep,
yeah.
just like a vendor, yep.
so. but-
He's a vendor, he doesn't get retirement, doesn't get health care.
No, I understand that. All right, I'm good, thank you.
All right. The board moves to reappoint Robert Galvin, Town Council, for a one-year term expiring on June 30th, 2025, and has submitted a signed query form. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded, roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Passes by unanimous vote.
So, finally, the board moves to approve the meeting minutes from July 8th, 2024, and July 15th, 2024.
Second.
Motion made and duly seconded, roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the minutes from July 8th and July 15th.
Okay, current time is 10:08. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded, roll call is in order. Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to adjourn for the evening.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Drive safe.